Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining Lewis University's television network. Today is Wednesday, October 2nd, 2019. I'm Louis Chavez.
And I'm Margarita Cremitis.
We begin with our top national stories. The same jury that convicted a white Dallas police officer in the fatal shooting of her black neighbor returned to court today and gave her a sentence of 10 years. Amber Geiger, 31, was convicted of murdering her black neighbor, Bottom Jean, who lived right below her apartment. In what was a sad turn of events, still in her police uniform, Geiger walked into the victim's apartment thinking it was her own and shot Jean thinking he was an intruder. This case is being called a big step in the Black Lives Matter movement.
A family was carjacked after pulling over during their drive home from Disney on Sunday. Jamie Sagona was driving her brother, mother, and her baby home to Miami from Disney World in Orlando when she stopped at a gas station to rest. An armed man carjacked the car, and a security camera caught the incident showing Sagona trying to fight her assailant. The man eventually yanked Sagona out of the car while her brother exited through the passenger seat as the carjacker drove off with the grandmother and baby in the back seat. The carjacker released Joanna Sagona and her grandchild about a mile down the road. 21-year-old suspect Jaquay Marlon Jean was arrested in North Miami on Monday and faces felony charges of carjacking with a deadly weapon, robbery with a deadly weapon, and kidnapping.
A faulty gas valve caused a major gas leak in Lawrence, Massachusetts last week that forced the evacuation of around 100 people. Workers who were checking valves before a road repaving closed the valve, which was previously said to be disabled last year. The valve wasn't in compliance with state regulations and led to power being cut to 1,900 homes in the area. Last year, a similar gas leak caused multiple explosions across Lawrence that claimed one life. Authorities sent out sniffer trucks to find other leaks in an effort to prevent further leaks. 45 other potential problem valves were scoped out for inspection.
A 22-year-old man has been arrested and charged with the murder of postal worker Irene Presley. The suspect, Trevor Wequan Seward, allegedly shot Presley several times while she was out delivering mail in Andrews, South Carolina. Investigators linked Seward to the killing after matching him to a fingerprint that was found on a package at the scene of the crime. A funeral was held for Presley, who had worked for the Postal Service for almost 22 years, on Saturday, which was the same day Seward was arrested. Seward was denied bond at a hearing over the weekend, and he is next scheduled to appear in court on November 15th.
The West Virginia Health Department has reported the highest number of hepatitis C cases in years. According to the Charleston Gazette, more than 1,100 new chronic cases of hepatitis C have been recorded in Kanawha County in 2018. These new chronic cases of hepatitis C have been increasing months after a clean needle program was suspended because police said they would be enacting tighter regulations. According to local clinic director, the county is hearing a hepatitis C outbreak and an HIV outbreak due to sharing needles. Coming up next, we'll take a look into leading local headlines.
And later, we have the latest political news. Stay with us.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
So who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Texas contractor escaped a kidnapping after being tied up and thrown into a truck naked Sunday. The man was lured into a house with the promise of a job to repair a flood-damaged home. The kidnappers tried to extort thousands of dollars from the victim's family. The man managed to escape by pulling the release latch in the trunk and running to a nearby home for help. First responders found the car the victim was captive in on fire down the street. There was no trace of the kidnappers. The man was with his kidnappers for as long as 8 hours and believed the kidnappers have probably done something similar before.
The Shed Aquarium announced their 2 sea otter pups finally have names. The Shed was holding a digital naming contest in which voters could vote on a few names. After the polls closed, nearly 20,000 votes had come in. The pups were referred to by the intake numbers given to them at the Monterey Bay Aquarium in California. Cooper, formerly known as Pup 870, was found alone near the Stillwater Cove in Carmel Bay on May 18th. Watson, formerly known as Pup 872, was found in distress 2 days later. The pup was found near at Asilomar State Beach. The pair were welcomed in July, and the voting was to educate the voters on sea otters and get them to support legislation and protections that are critical to this endangered species.
The Pritzker administration released maps that classified areas that are considered to be disproportionately impacted areas that would be open for the cannabis program's social equity applicants. In order to qualify as one of these areas, the area must have high rates of poverty, unemployment, and arrests, convictions, and incarcerations relating to cannabis. There are more than 2 million living in these areas in Illinois. Later this year, DCEO will also launch a program to provide low-interest loans to those qualified for social equity to help cover the expenses of starting up or operating a cannabis-related business. This will all go into effect before January 1st, which is the date that marijuana will become legal in Illinois.
The Chicago Teachers Union plans to announce a strike day today. For the first time, the City of Chicago launched a website that outlines the current proposal, which includes a 16% pay raise over 5 years and a commitment to hiring more support staff, such as nurses and social workers. The union established their own website to explain their issues in depth and claim that previous promises about budgeted positions haven't resulted in actual hiring. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot maintains that the city's current offer is lucrative and comprehensive, while also saying that the union is ignoring the city's offers. The potential strike by thousands of school support staff and Park District employees means that many CPS families will have to rely on Park District programming, which might not be there.
With cooler months creeping around the corner, flu season is quickly making its appearance, according to the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases. Only 46% of college students get an annual flu shot. Students can receive a free flu vaccination October 7th from 4 to 6 p.m. in Charlie's from the Department of Nursing. When we return, we have your day's top political headlines.
And later, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast. Stay with us.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Net neutrality laws shows that states are now taking on responsibility for passing laws that prevent internet providers from favoring some sites over others. Though the Federal Communications Commission dumped these laws on a national scale, their ruling said nothing about states creating laws of their own. California is working to pass a data privacy law that would protect users in sites like Facebook and Amazon from facing slowed speeds and potential data breaches. The original net neutrality laws passed in 2015 at the national level were overturned in late 2017 in the interests of large internet providers. Democratic presidential candidate Senator Bernie Sanders has raised more than $25 million in funding in the last 3 months. Small dollar donors and more than 1 million people have contributed to the amount. According to the campaign, teachers were the most frequent donors. $18.2 million were raised in the first 41 days of Sanders' campaign. Less money has been raised in the second quarter that ended in June. September was the strongest funding month to date for fundraising, and Sanders is in a good position to keep up with this pace. House Democrats are in the process of issuing a subpoena to President Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. This is in response to the impeachment inquiry announced by the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, after the transcript of the call between President Trump and Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky was released. The House of Intelligence Committee issued the subpoena in order to obtain documents related to Ukraine. The documents will be shared with the House of Judiciary and 2 other committees. If Giuliani doesn't comply, it will amount to obstruction. The requested documents are due by October 15th.
Has Rudy Giuliani responded to these claims at all?
So he's tweeted recently about suing Congress and actually individual members about exceeding their powers, and now he has an attorney. So
we'll have to stay tuned to see how that story turns out. Coming up next, we have your full 5-day forecast, and later we'll have a look at sports. Stay tuned. Good night.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to Lewis University's television network. I'm Carl Zahn with your weather. Right now in Romeoville, Illinois, we're looking at 60 degrees and some cloudy conditions out there. For our local temperatures up in Madison, Wisconsin and Milwaukee, looking at mid-50s, and as we go across down into Valparaiso, 64 in Michigan City, and 56 up in Grand Rapids. For our national temperatures, we might even be seeing some freezing temperatures up there in those Montana areas. 39 in Bismarck, 63 in Seattle, 71 in Los Angeles, and 91 in Sarasota. For our national radar, we're getting a massive line of storms kind of coming up into this Midwest area, and that's what we've been experiencing today through all those storms hitting that Chicago and obviously Romeoville area. Wisconsin actually right now seems to be just absolutely covered in rain. For our local radar, we have these storms coming, so please, if you plan on going outside soon, bring an umbrella because there is some rain coming. There are some stronger storms forming by the Earl area and could possibly hit the Romeoville area. For our almanac for today, a high of 61 and a low of 59, just a little colder than our normal temps at a high of 68 and a low of 47. Record temperatures in 1971, we were at 91 degrees, and in 1974, just a few years later, we were at 28. For our 5-day forecast tomorrow, it looks like we're going to have mostly cloudy with a high of 64 and a low of 47. Friday, those temperatures are going to drop to the 50s at 58 as a high and a low of 48, partly cloudy. Saturday, some storms are going to move in for those PM showers, high of 63 and a low of 49. And on Sunday, just a little warmer, 64 is a high, mostly sunny, and a high of 45. Remember to keep up with LUTN weather on Facebook and Twitter. Now back to Margarita at the desk.
All right, Carl, thank you so much for that update. Stay tuned for sports next.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to LUTN. I'm Matt Mohan. The Lewis women's volleyball team just can't be stopped at the moment. The Flyers tacked on another easy win over the Parkside Rangers on Tuesday night in straight sets. The Flyers have now won 7 in a row and are 13-1 on the season. Congrats to Ava Venema and Ronnie Katarzinski for being named GLVC Volleyball Players of the Week. The Lewis men's soccer team spotted Missouri S&T an early 2-goal lead on Sunday afternoon, but fought back hard and ended the game in a 2-2 draw. Conrad Malinowski and Jason Iniguez scored for the Flyers in the comeback, as the Flyers are now 5-1-2 on the season and return home to face Truman State this Friday at 7:30 p.m. The 162-game marathon is over in the MLB, and only a select few still survive to fight on for all the glory. One team has already had their season end in heartbreaking fashion. The Milwaukee Brewers gave up a game-winning, bases-loaded triple with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning last night against the Washington Nationals. The Nationals held on to win the NL wildcard game 4-3, It advanced to the NLDS, where they will take on the formidable LA Dodgers. The AL wildcard game is tonight in a matchup of the teams with the 2 lowest payrolls in all of baseball, as the Oakland A's host the Tampa Bay Rays in the one-game playoff. The Astros, Yankees, Twins, Braves, and Cardinals, meanwhile, are all still alive in their quest for a World Series championship. In briefs, the Chicago Bulls hosted their media day on Monday. We got a glimpse at new draft pick Kobe White donning the Chicago Red for the first time. The North Carolina rookie will lead the charge for a young team that has legitimate playoff aspirations in the future. The Bulls' first preseason game is next Monday against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Blackhawks have finally wrapped up their 2019 preseason. Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane look to lead the way for the Hawks as they try to forge their way back into the playoffs after not qualifying the past 2 years. The Hawks kick off their season in Prague as they take on the Philadelphia Flyers at 1 p.m. Central Time. For the first time this season, we have a new leader at the top of the college football rankings. After Clemson's scare against North Carolina, the new AP poll features the Alabama Crimson Tide as the top-ranked team in the nation. The Tide, led by junior quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, dismantled Ole Miss last Saturday and will face 25th-ranked Texas A&M this upcoming week. That's it for sports. I'm Matt Moen. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks for that update, Matt. That's it for today's news. Thank you for watching. As a reminder, you can always keep up with Lewis News on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and by visiting our website, charliemedia.press. I'm Luis Chavez.
I'm Margarita Cremidas.
I'm Carl Zahn with weather.
I'm Ayana Squires with politics.
Have a great night.